Hi, Paul. Sorry. Yes, I can hear you, and thank you very much for the intro. It's my pleasure once again to also welcome you to this Thursday evening training as well as recognition, and also to congratulate you on a job well done wherever you may be and what your goals may be. We are very glad that once again we can celebrate the work that we did in the month of September and get started on the work for the month of October. So today I'll have a brief session because we have a recognition, and I thought that we might speak about some of our best-selling products and maybe share a little bit on how to share them with the people we come across. Because, of course, all our Neolife products are excellent, and a lot of research and care has gone into formulating and manufacturing them. But we find that in every region, there are a set of products that sells very well. And often they form like the backbone of our business because they are the ones we sell the most of. They are often tried and tested products that people know well, and this makes it easy to move them through our organization. So because our business relies a lot on word of mouth advertisement, we speak to people and those people speak to others. When they have a good experience, they share it with others. It is understandable that our products, which are well known and which have been tried and successfully used by more people, will be easier to sell, and therefore that is how we come to the list of some of the products that we call our best sellers. So with Paul's help, we got, I think, 5 products. I hope I'll be able to go through all of them. So as a distributor, it is also important to know some of the best sellers and to know how to present them well, briefly, clearly, and effectively. You need to be brief because often these days people want everything quick. So we need to not make it a scientific presentation, but simply to give the salient points about the products and how it can help the person to deal with whatever challenge they might be dealing with. So the first product, of course, I think we would guess it correctly, is 3NN. This is our oil-based supplement, which is the starting point of any mindful relationship, any mindful practice of using our nutrition to improve our health. We know that whatever goes into our mouth is going to have an effect on our health. And I think in many of the sessions that we've spoken about, we've had before, we have spoken about the importance of being mindful about what we put in our bodies because they have an effect on our health. So we know that many of the foods that we eat will have been processed in one way or another. And in the course of processing, some of the useful nutrients might be removed. Case in point is when grain is milled and packaged, usually they'll remove some of the excellent nutrients that should come to us through our grains. And that is why Neolife has got the supplement 3NN, which is made out of a combination of plant oils that are extracted from good quality grains, whole grains, and legumes. So things like rice, things like maize, things like wheat, things like different kinds of beans. So the oils on the husks of these the oil on the husks of these foods is what 3NN is made out of. And that makes sure that if we are not getting the nourishment that we should be getting from our grains and our legumes, 3NN is going to ensure that we have them. So what does 3NN do once it is in the body? Because that is what our prospect or our client might be interested in. 3NN works at a cellular level. It makes sure that our cell membrane is in good condition. And this is important because everything gets into the cell or out of the cell by passing through the membrane. And if the membrane is stiff and not in good health, then some of the byproducts that need to come out of the cell will be retained in the cell. And some of the nutrients that need to go into the cell will not efficiently go into the cell. So that what we will have is a poorly cleaned up cell and a poorly supplied cell. And if we are having problems at a cellular level, then it means that all the things we are doing to try to improve our health through our diet and exercise are not going to benefit us as much as they could. So, for example, we've decided to start exercising. We know that in the course of exercising, we burn a lot of energy, and there will be byproducts in the burning of energy. And of course, those byproducts should be removed from the cell and removed from the body eventually. But if the cell membrane is not working correctly, then you can see that some of those byproducts will be retained. So for that reason, when we are speaking to our clients, Trianen is always a good starting point, and it's important to tell them that it is made of grain and legume oil, so it is plant-based. And at the same time, we need to tell them that it works at a cellular level, making sure that our cells are in good working conditions so that all the other good stuff that we are going to either eat or do to make us more healthy will benefit us from the cellular level. And of course, if our cells are working well, the whole body will be working well. Then the next bestseller is omega-3 salmon oil, which is a high quality balance of fish oils that are extracted from salmon fish. And these salmon fish are not just salmon from anywhere. They are particularly the salmon from the least polluted waters of the world. This is in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean, where there are very strict regulations to ensure that the waters are kept pure. So the fish there are not polluted. And so this is where Neolife gets the salmon from which our omega-3 salmon oil is made. And also, when they are extracting the oils from the salmon, they don't extract it from the fatty parts of the fish. They extract it from the edible parts of the fish. Because remember that when a fish is trying to get rid of pollutants, it will store those pollutants in its fatty tissue, such as blubber. And so some of the companies might decide to get the oil from those fatty tissues of the fish. But our salmon oil is extracted from the edible parts of the fish, the muscle of the fish. And this makes sure that it is highly pure and not contaminated by any small amounts of impurities that might find its way into the North Atlantic Ocean. So, of course, we know the many benefits of the omega-3 oils. We know, for example, that expectant mothers need to supplement with this oil because it plays an essential role in the development of the brain of the growing baby. We know that also growing children require supplementation with this. We know that omega-3 oils are involved in the health of our blood, in the health of our joints, and in many, many other parts of many tissues of our body. So for that reason, omega-3 salmon oil earns its place as one of our best sellers because it's going to be an essential part of nutrition from before birth and throughout life. And because the World Health Organization recommends that we eat fish at least twice a week, and maybe many of us, as a result of our situation, maybe fish is not easily available, or we really do not like fish, we may find that we are not able to make fish part of our regular diet. And in order to mitigate for that, omega-3 salmon oil provides us with what we would have got from the fish in our diet. So if you come across someone maybe who is struggling with arthritis, struggling with cardiovascular illnesses, let's say high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or maybe they've had heart failures, they've had bypass surgery, and so on. If you're having someone who is expecting, or you come across someone who has got growing children, all these are people for whom we can explain quickly how omega-3 salmon oil can play a role in their nutrition. Then the next bestseller is ProVitality. And ProVitality, I think, is an excellent broad-based supplement because it is a 4-in-1 combination of supplements. So it is a preparation with sachets. Each sachet contains four products, of which omega-3 that I was just talking about and N are 2. And then in addition to omega-3 and N, ProVitality also contains carotenoid complex, which is a preparation of plant-based antioxidants. These carotenoids come from the fruits and vegetables which have got red, orange, or yellow pigments, and they are found to be highly important in our nutrition, and we should get them from our 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables that the World Health Organization recommends. So each of us is recommended that we should take between 5 to 9 servings of vegetables. This is not easy to manage because a lot of times we would maybe just select 1 or 2 types of vegetables that we have with our meal, and then maybe 1 or 2 types of fruits that we like or which are easily available. And we find that we are not able to reach the full spectrum. But by adding carotenoid complex to our supplementation of our diet, we are going to make sure that we get a broader base of these carotenoid phytonutrients. So carotenoid complex is a member of the ProVitality, and it plays an important role in supporting our immune system, in making sure that we have the fine plant-based nutrients that help to keep disease away, and that if we should fall sick, it helps us to bounce back and recover rapidly and completely. So that is an addition to ProVitality. And then the fourth product in ProVitality is called Multi. Multi is a preparation of minerals and vitamins which the body needs. And so when we put these 4 together, the omega-3 salmon oil, the N oils, the carotenoid complex, and the Multi, we get a broad base of supplementation which covers all the bases and makes sure that wherever our diet might be lacking, this supplement is going to make sure that it gives us a boost. And so if we come across maybe some of these young people who are working very hard, don't have time to prepare good meals, then ProVitality will be a good addition to their lifestyle, and we can quickly explain to them in what way it can help. If we come across people who are maybe finding that their diet is not really fulfilling their nutritional needs, then ProVitality will play a role there. If you come across people maybe who are suffering from different kinds of illnesses, you may find that many of them will benefit from using ProVitality. So that is why we find that ProVitality is another bestseller in our range. Then the next bestseller is Chelated Kalmag. And this is a mineral supplement that is made of calcium and magnesium. And they are formulated in such a way that it optimizes their absorption as well as their bioavailability. So not every supplement that you get in the market is actually going to be absorbed by your body. So sometimes a client might tell you that, but I get my Kalmag from my pharmacist or from the supermarket. But it's good to explain to them that in order for them to benefit from the supplement, it needs to be absorbable and bioavailable, that actually the nutrient can be used by our bodies. Because if it cannot be absorbed or cannot be made available to us, then it is going to start accumulating in our tissues. And then you end up with deposits of calcium. For example, you may have seen some people where the bones start sharpening, so it's as if they have extra pieces of bone, or some of them may be deposited in the blood vessels and so on. So it is important to take good quality supplements so that they are beneficial rather than harmful to us. So our Chelated Kalmag is formulated with that in mind. And we find, for example, that magnesium is needed to maximize our absorption of vitamin D. We here in Africa are quite lucky because we get plenty of sunshine. with which our body can make vitamin D. And by having magnesium, we ensure that that vitamin D is well absorbed. And vitamin D in its own turn is essential for the absorption of calcium. So you can see that you have the Kalmag, but through calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium, you have got a winning formula that makes sure that you get all the benefit from your supplement as well as from your sun exposure. In addition to that, so you see that it is called Chelated Kalmag, and your client or your downline might not be, or some of our guests might not be aware of what that means, but we find that the mineral supplements are sometimes not easily absorbed by the body. So what Neolife has done is to chelate or to bind the calcium and the magnesium to an amino acid. And by binding the amino acid to these supplements, it makes it more absorbable and more bioavailable for our bodies, thereby once again ensuring that when we take our Chelated Kalmag, we are getting the full benefits of it. And that is what makes a difference of using a Neolife product versus another product that might appear to be cheaper, but in the long run, since you're not getting the benefits of what you're taking, you are actually not getting value for money. Then I think as I see the time is running away, I will just go to the fifth one, which is Supergrow. I think this is a much loved product in our region because our farmers have benefited from the use of Supergrow. So Supergrow is a formulation which I think I can equate it to being the 3NN of our food producers. So what Supergrow does is that it enhances the abilities of water to be absorbed and to be retained. For example, if someone is a farmer and they want to maximize the benefits of their fertilizer in their farm, then Supergrow is going to do that because it will if they are watering the farm, for instance, it will improve the soil's ability to hold water and to keep to absorb the water so that the water does not just run off onto the ground. You see sometimes that when you're watering, if the soil is not very good, what happens is that the water runs on the surface of the soil. And so if we add Supergrow to our sprinkler system or to our fertilizer, then what happens is that the absorption is improved and the water retention is improved, and of course the crop is going to benefit. Another group that uses Supergrow, maybe if maybe you are not in contact with agricultural farmers, then fish farmers also benefit from the use of Supergrow in their fish ponds because it helps the water to purify the water and keep it in good condition so that the fish are in a good environment, and it makes sure that the fish are able to get a diet that is not too full of too many impurities, because the Supergrow actually mitigates for the feed as well as the environment itself of the pond. And so whatever kind of farmer you might come across, it's good, or just people, because we know now that as a result of COVID, a number of us have started maybe growing some of our own foods or vegetables. It may be just someone in the city who is growing a few vegetables, or it may be someone who is in horticulture or such like occupations. We can tell them about the benefits of Supergrow, that it is not a harmful additive to their agricultural work. It is actually simply a product that helps the water that we already would be using to work more beneficially on our farmlands or on our fish ponds. And some people also use it in other occupations. So there is quite a bit of information available about Supergrow that I would recommend for you to educate yourself about, so that when you come across someone who might be in a position to benefit from the effects of Supergrow, you will actually be able to explain to them and give them the benefit of these products. I think that I shall stop there for today because, as I said, we are going to have a full schedule today with the recognition. So I want to hand you over to Pascal, but I want to leave you with the word that you may not be able to sell every product that Neolife has in its range, but by knowing what are the best sellers and informing yourself on how to present them effectively and clearly and briefly, you would be able to improve your sales. Because, as you know, we are in the business of actually getting these products to those who need them so that they can benefit. So this is just a brief information, but there is a lot more information in the website and on YouTube. So you can go on and actually give yourself more information and even get a few testimonials, for example, of farmers who have used Supergrow or people who have used omega-3 salmon oil or 3NN, so that by having these testimonials, you can share these videos with people, or you can educate yourself so that when you come across someone who can benefit, you would be in a good position to share with them this information. Thank you very much. And now we go to the lovely part of recognition. So I hand you over to Pascal and Paul to carry on from there.
Thank you very much, Betty. Now that we know